I can make $2,000 a day with just one simple strategy, and I can do this with somebody that has zero experience. There's no fancy software, there's no guesswork, it's just a system that works. Now, this is just a quick heads up as I'm going through this. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you, there's a lot of numbers flying around, big numbers in some cases. This is not a copy me and get rich quick thing. Yes, I make $2,000 a day. That doesn't mean that you need to go out and make $2,000, $20,000. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm showing you this to show you that it's possible. And everyday people end up doing this and can do this. And I've had multiple people that have quit their regular jobs. This was a goal of theirs, quit their regular jobs and become day traders. They've became day traders. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This takes a long time to master. I'm not trying to get rich quick. If you see anybody on YouTube that says that they're going to put 10 grand in your pocket overnight, it's nonsense. If you see anybody on YouTube that says they're going to put 2 grand in your pocket overnight, it's absolute nonsense. It's not sustainable. This is a goal for you to work towards, to copy the process that I'm doing, and that can give you a tool that you can use for the rest of your financial life. Come over to my chart and let me show it to you. So looking at this chart, this is what's called a 15-minute chart. It means that every single candle on here is 15 minutes. So if we look at this and we zoom into yesterday, for example, this is 9:30 in the morning, 9:45, 10 o'clock, 10:15, so on and so forth, all throughout the day. You compare that to a daily chart or a long-term chart over here. We'll just pull up the same ticker symbol just so it's the same. This was yesterday. This one lone candle right here. That was yesterday. So now I can really take a magnifying glass, zoom in on this one candle, and here was yesterday. This is all of it. So the 15-minute chart is very advantageous because you can take that magnifying glass, zoom in, and see what's happening minute to minute. Now, some people might say, why don't you use a 1-minute chart? Why don't you use a 5-minute chart? Why don't you use this chart? I have never found a benefit of using any other chart other than a 15-minute chart. Now, if you're doing something more intricate, more in-depth, a 1-minute chart is absolutely valuable. But when it comes to a 5-minute and a 10-minute versus a 15-minute, I have never really found any type of advantage. But for some people, like me and the style of trading I'm doing, one is just too intricate for me. I also don't need to see a 1-minute chart. I don't need to see those trends. 15 is fine for the types of day trades that I'm making. Now, when it comes to a day trade, this is a trade that you're making within the same day, meaning that you don't buy it and sit overnight in it. The idea is to buy it somewhere between 9:30 and 4 o'clock and exit between 9:30 and 4 o'clock Eastern time when the stock market is open. You're not sitting in something till the next day saying, okay, I wonder what the stock's going to do overnight. So let's get familiar what's on a 15-minute chart. Because it is a little bit different than a long-term chart or a daily chart. So we have this open right now. This is our pre-market is in orange. You can kind of see the orange hue. Then you have your regular market. That's with a black background. Then you have this tinted blue. You can change these colors to whatever you want. But it's defined enough for me to be able to see that this is pre-market, this is post-market, this is the market. So when we look at this chart, we're looking for a couple of things. Well, we're still looking for those engulfing candles. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that we're looking for engulfing candlesticks because they're buy signals. If you haven't watched my videos in the past, that's okay. I'm going to show you. When you have a candle that is large and takes out the previous candle, that's great. This one, large candle taking out the previous candle. The stock price is moving up. Here you had a couple of engulfing candlesticks throughout the day. I have other videos with more detail on them, but you get the gist of the type of candle that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for some spindly little green thing like that, something with a large wick on top. That's not what we're looking for when we're buying or selling short. This would be an example of selling short. And when I talk about selling short, you have to be a two-way trader. You have to be able to go long and short. That basically gives you two stocks that you're trading. If you want to be a good trader, you have to be able to go in both directions. Now, something that's a little bit different on this chart versus the daily and the long-term chart. Coming over here, we see that I always talk about the sweet spot. The sweet spot is between 32% and 80%. This is the area on both charts, 80%, 32% down here. This is the area where you have the highest probability to make money. When you come to a 15-minute chart, those sweet spot areas change. You want your sweet spot for going long, for making money as the stock price goes up, is up here, between 80 and 100%. This is where you have the highest probability to make money going long. Conversely, when you're going short, between 0 and 20. So this area in here, I just kind of call it no man's land. It's no man's land. You don't want to be trading in there. When the stochastic is in the middle, you don't do anything. When it gets up top, that's when you're executing trades. I'm looking at a stock LABU right now. This is interesting because our stochastic or our trend started on the bottom. We're starting to get this, maybe an engulfing candlestick. If it takes out the bottom, we're getting really good volume. But these are the main differences on the chart. So you have volume, which we just talked about briefly right here, trend, engulfing candlestick. That's what you're looking for on a 15-minute chart, which makes it a little bit different than the daily or the long-term chart. So let's look and see how I can make $2,000 a day. So back when I was day trading all of my time, this is what I did for a living. I basically would take $200,000 every morning and I would try to make 1%. I would make 1% per day. So I would take that and my goal was to make $2,000 a day. When I made that 1%, I was done for the day. That was it. I found that when I tried to go and make a little bit more, I would give some back. Then I would press to try to get to that 1% number. And that's what you have. If trading and day trading especially can be very, very emotionally driven. I promise you that if you trade with paper or you trade fake money, and then you go and buy one share for $1 and you make or lose 5 cents, it's going to feel different than when you were trading for no real money. It's just something psychological. You have to become comfortable with trading real money, have stops in place, keep your emotions in check. But LABU was one of the stocks that I traded religiously back in the day because it always gave me some type of run through the sweet spot at some point during the day. And if it didn't, I would go over to its inverse, LABD. But the nice thing about this stock is it moves very quickly. You need stocks to move quickly or have high betas, and I'll explain beta in a second. You have to have high beta so you get movement on the stock. If you're going to go trade something like an AT&T, I often get people in the community that will say, Mo, I just can't make any money day trading. The setup looks perfect. I'm getting the engulfing candlestick. Let's go over LABD real quick because it's going to go the opposite direction. You can see it's just the opposite chart. I'm getting an engulfing candlestick. I'm in the sweet spot. Volume's great, yada, yada. But why is it not working for me? And I say, well, what stocks are you trying to trade? They're trying to trade Warner Brothers. They're trying to trade AT&T. They're trying to trade Coca-Cola. These are dinosaur stocks that don't move. So what are we looking for when it comes to a stock? So what are we looking for when it comes to a stock to day trade? Well, that's a beta. So if we're coming over here, you come down here and you look and you see beta. The beta on LABD, this is the chart that I have on my screen right now on TradingView, is 2.67, and it's negative 2.67 because it's an inverse. So if we typed in LABU, this is the inverse of it, you would have 2.8. So basically the same thing, but it's in the positive direction here. So you need to have betas that are above 2.5 when it comes to day trading when you're experienced. Now, if you're a new person, I would say go and try to trade something with a 1.75 to 2 beta, somewhere in there. The more beta there, the higher the beta is, the faster the stock's going to move. So what is beta? Well, if we look at the S&P 500, so let's look at SPY here. The beta on SPY is 1. This is the benchmark. So if the stock market moves 1, LABU is going to move 2.8. That's the theory behind beta. It gives you an inkling of the volatility that's happening. So as the S&P 500 moves 1, LABU is going to move 2.8 times. That's good for you if you're a day trader. You want that type of volatility. But please, do not jump into these types of betas, 2.5 and higher, unless you have experience. Go 1.75 to 2 to start out while you're paper trading. As you get more experience, go higher betas. Why? Because they move a lot faster. I mean, if you look at what's happening here with LABD, it is soaring. Let's go back to LABU and check it out. You can see we're starting to come down. We have a ton of volume in there. This is just the first 8 minutes of the day, and this thing has already moved up and down about 1%. It moves very quickly. So if we go back a couple of days ago, we can see here, we could have executed a trade here. We could have, not right there. Let's see here. Could have executed a short trade here because our trend was moving here into the sweet spot. On the downside, we were getting volume. We had 2 nice engulfing candlesticks. Could have made a very nice percentage there. Here in the afternoon, let's see. So as I'm going through this, if I don't see anything positive, I'm going to show you what I end up doing. Right here, you could have grabbed something in the afternoon actually twice. You can see popped into the sweet spot, engulfing candlesticks, popped into the sweet spot, engulfing candlesticks. So if we can't find anything there, what do? Well, we come over here to Yahoo Finance. And this is the way, one of our traders in the community, his name is Jonathan. This is what he likes to do. He likes to come over here and see the most actives or the biggest gainers. So we'll look at most actives. These are stocks with the most volume trading. The more volume you have, the more the stock's going to move. The other thing you can do is the biggest gainers. Go and catch the momentum. This is all about momentum trading. So Newegg Commerce today is up about 18%. All you have to go and do is figure out a way to grab 1 or 2% of Newegg Commerce. Aegon Limited, I don't even know what that is, but it's up 8%. If I can go and grab 2%, 1% in either direction, I'll be very happy. These stocks right here, I don't really recognize any of them, but that doesn't mean, yeah, I see NEO. And I do recognize Newegg, but this is it. I noticed 2 of them. Doesn't matter. All that matters is you go and catch the momentum and try to grab 1 or 2%, depending on your goal for the day. Maybe it's 0.5%. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's 10%. I don't know. But you can go and grab a percentage of this every day, and that's the idea. You don't need to go and grab the whole thing. You don't need to grab 16.88%. You need to grab 1. That's your job. And it doesn't matter if it's long or short. So if we go and look at NEGG, let's go and look. See what's happening with it. All right. Oh, there's a big move that happened. So what would I do with this if it was me? Well, I wouldn't do anything right now. Why? Because we're in no man's land. I would like to get the sweet spot either up here or down here, and I'm going to go short. So if I get this thing, let's say that this candle breaks up here, it creates a big engulfing candlestick like that, trend moves up into the sweet spot up here, I'll trade it, and I'll try to grab 1%. If it completely breaks down and it starts moving in this direction, I'll trade it down here. But you don't need to do it right now. Just let the chart develop. The overwhelming kind of trait that you need to have when day trading, when swing trading, when long-term trading, what have you, is patience. You just got to let the chart develop. Don't see this say, oh, it's up 16% right now, I need to grab it. No. At some point during the day, it's more likely than not going to start pulling down on you. Or it's going to just start going up. Either way, just grab it. Grab it going either direction, but just make sure trend is in the sweet spot here or here. You're still getting good volume and you're getting engulfing candlesticks. So this is one type of trading that works really, really well. Now I have a course on every type of trading that I do, from swing trading to long-term trading to a lot more on day trading. It's 2.5 hours long. It's chaptered. You can go pick out the pieces that you need, but it gives you every single tool that you need to become a successful trader. You need to go watch that video right here. Go check it out.